My name is Shameka Williams, and I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland, but I now reside in Greenville, South Carolina. I attended cosmetology school at the Academy of Hair Tech, and I've been in the industry for 16 years now. To me, being a woman entrepreneur and also a woman of color, I just feel like you have to put in a tad bit more work because people already to expect us to fail, or they label us as ghetto or angry black women. So I just feel like we always have to go above and beyond to prove that we're not just that and that we can be professional as well. I do feel like the hair industry does its due diligence as far as diversifying and educating and uplifting black salons, but I also feel like the black salons don't do their due diligence as far as being more diverse and getting that proper education, because I feel like black salons don't take it as serious as the white salons, if that makes sense. Like, it's been like the industry in the black community has been watered down, and I feel like the hair salons in the white community take it more serious. I knew that being in the hair industry was for me when I realized I could actually do it without being paid for it. Like, to me, the biggest prize of it all is actually seeing the client happy and that feeling that they get when they're leaving, when they're getting up out of my chair and they just enjoy their hair and the service all together. Like, it's not just about the money for me. I would have to say my biggest supporters in the process of me becoming a hairstylist would be my mom, my grandmother, my sisters. I got five sisters, so I basically had five free models. So they let me do everything to their hair. Like, I burnt their hair off, cut their hair before I even knew how to cut. My mom, no matter where we moved to, she always made sure I had a separate space to do hair at home before I was finished with school. My grandmother was definitely one of my biggest supporters because she was the first person to actually pay for her services. So that put me in the mindset of, if my grandmother can pay me, so can you. And so she was teaching me to treat it more as a career and not just a hobby. One of the biggest lessons I learned in cosmetology school is that you have to remain professional no matter what. Like, you can't get attitude with the client just because they have attitude. You can't curse them out just because they're cussing. Like, even if they're in a bad mood and they have attitude, you still have to keep it professional no matter what. Here is if you're like playing with our baby dolls all day, but it's actually a career, and I feel like it's a very disrespected career, but it also can be very lucrative if you can get past those obstacles. Another obstacle we face as far as renting out a booth or a salon suite is the pricing has gotten insane, and with the insane pricing comes increase in prices for your services, and a lot of the clients don't understand that. So it's like you have to choose between if you want a suite or if you want to rent a booth on the open floor, and it can be a little it can be a little discouraging because if you are working on the open floor, you have people who come in and they like, oh, I don't like this open space. I want to be private. But then you also have the people when you do have a private space and you charge a certain amount. Now they're looking at you crazy, like, well, why is my hair so expensive? So it's like you got to try to find a medium when it comes to that, as far as working in the salon. Some of the obstacles that me and some other stylists may face in the industry is obtaining and keeping our cosmetology licenses. I don't feel like it's impossible to keep up with it, but sometimes life happens. Sometimes, especially in the economy, we had to go through COVID where the salons were closed, and so we had to take a 12-hour course, well, two 6-hour courses rather, to keep up with our cosmetology license. So during that time, you may not have been able to find someone who was having a class, or the classes kind of got expensive because now everybody is trying to find a way to keep money in their pockets due to the salons being closed. So it's just a lot sometimes as far as keeping it up. And once you let it lapse, it could be a challenge getting it back. And I'm kind of going through that myself right now. I actually do have intentions on reinstating my license. It's kind of challenging for me because I have to actually get to Columbia to take state board, and I'm without a vehicle right now. But it's challenging, but it's not impossible. So I plan on getting it back very soon. I feel like it's important for me to go back and get my cosmetology license because, for one, I took my time to go to school, so I owe it to myself to continue to be behind the chair and work in the industry and be licensed. Also, because without the license, it's not impossible for you to get to where you want to go, but it may take longer for you to get to where you want to go. Certain job opportunities I've had to pass on because I don't have it. Even if you are allowed to rent a booth in a salon without it, you gotta kind of look over your shoulder because state board can come in at any time, and then you could be shut down or put in a position where you can never have your license again. So it's not worth even being out here trying to work without it. So I haven't rented a booth in a while because I don't want to have to go through that, and also I don't want to put that on the salon owner because they can get a fine, I can get a fine. It's just not worth it. And there's a lot of rookie mistakes made in the salon sometimes that we were taught not to do that people tend to do anyway. It's little simple things like not using the same comb on one client that you use on another, not picking up the comb and using it after it's been dropped on the salon floor, not cleaning and sanitizing your tools as you should. It just it's more safety and more sanitation problems versus um, actual technical problems as far as being hands on. But the sanitation behind it all, they mess up with that every time. Um, Performing services at home versus performing services in a salon, it's totally different. Like I said, you can get by with doing hair at home, but it's so much better in the salon. Like I never knew how much I missed the shampoo bowl or salon chair until I didn't have one. Sometimes you may have to have your clients come already shampooed just so you don't have to have them leaning over the sink. Versus in the salon, they can sit down, they can lay back, relax, get their hair shampooed. Some color services you kind of don't want to do at home because you want to make sure all the color is rinsed out and all the chemicals out their hair. So again, they have to lean over the sink at home. You can't really do that. And to me, shampoo is the most important part of the service. So I would prefer to be in the salon. And then even down to them sitting in a regular chair. Having a salon chair is better on your back. It's more comfortable for the client. If they have to sit through a 2-3 hour service, you don't want them to sit through that with their butt hurting. And you don't want to have to be leaning down or reaching up because you can't pump the chair up and down. So it could be nerve wracking doing hair at home versus at the salon. One of my biggest concerns with cosmetology school is the diversity of it all. Like, if you go to a predominantly white school, they're gonna lack in the ethnic hair area, and if you go to a predominantly black school, they're gonna lack in the Caucasian hair area. And all schools try to teach you that hair is hair, but yeah, hair is hair as far as what it's made up of, but it's not hair is hair as far as styling it. So if you end up going to a predominantly black school, you're not going to learn how to do certain hairstyles that the Caucasian customers may want done mostly, and vice versa. So I wish that's the only challenge. I wish it was more 50-50 when it comes to learning how to do both ethnicities of hair. So the biggest impact on my business when COVID hit was the salon being closed. Like I never thought I would see the day where I wake up and can't go to the salon. And so professionally, I took a huge hit financially, but personally, it taught me that hair doesn't have to be my only source of income. And for the first time in my life, I got a job. And I also realized, like, because I thought I had an issue with ever clocking in, and it wasn't that bad. So I also learned that clocking in isn't as bad as I thought, because that was my first time having to do so. It wasn't that bad. Resources that I believe could help black salons be more successful in the future would be customer service courses and business courses. Like a lot of black women a lot of black salons in this industry are good at actually performing the services, but they lack in actual customer service, and sometimes it takes a toll on the business and it causes a huge hit with business in the business financially because they don't have it all together when it comes to actually running the business. So my brand Majestic Glam Co was developed because I've always wanted my brand to be associated with royalty. And originally I was going to name it Royal Glam Co, but I felt like it wasn't like popping enough, like it wasn't enough. And so I was trying to think of a word that kind of went with royalty but better. And so I thought of majestic because to me it's like majestic, like in your face, majestic, like all things majestic. So, and I chose glam instead of majestic hair because I don't just do hair. I do makeup. I make wigs. I sell products. So I felt like it fit the description of me and my brand more versus royal glam or royal hair. So I picked majestic glam. 10 years from now, I see my brand everywhere. Target, Walmart, everywhere. Like, and I also feel like I will no longer be behind the chair like those days 10 years from now. Hard labor is not an option. I'll be waking up, checking my account, and it'll be money there, residual income. That's why I see my brand 10 years from now. I feel like there needs to be more acknowledgement and representation in marketing of black-owned brands because we should have to go so far to find products for us. We shouldn't have to dig deep. We shouldn't have to get down to the floor and look at the bottom of the shelves. Like it needs to be more diverse and better marketing for black-owned brands. Some things that have caused me to reconsider opening up another salon is, like I said, the disrespect of it all. You never know if a client's going to show up. Or if they do show up, you don't know if they're going to have attitude, if they're going to cuss you out, if they're going to complain about the prices. At the end of the day, as a client, you're just coming to sit in the chair and get your hair done. It's not your responsibility to care about the overhead or what another stylist has going on or what we pay for the products. All you want to do is get your hair done. But on through it all, we have to think about the overhead, the back end, and so sometimes it's just not worth it. And even if the money is coming in, but you have to deal with disrespect, or you have to deal with attitude, or if you are renting out booths to other stylists and they want to come telling you they don't have their booth rent for this week, or it's gonna be a while before they can do this and that, And then that kind of can put you behind as an owner because the lights got to stay on, the bill's not going to stop. And so sometimes it could just be too much of a headache and it could just not be worth it, especially in today's society where, I mean, everybody want microwave service, but it's a oven outcome and they don't understand that. So it's just not, it could just be too much. One of my proudest moments being a stylist, I can say, is when I have clients with hair loss. Well, actually, my first hair loss client. So, my original first hair loss client would be my mom. And one day she actually let me record her hair and put her on YouTube, which opened the door for me to receive other hair loss clients. So, I would call this client my second hair loss client. So, I was able to give her exactly what she wanted. And when I looked in the mirror, she cried. But it was happy tears. And so from that moment on, I felt like working with hair loss clients was actually my ministry and doing extensions because that was the first time I had someone cry. So like, yeah, this has got to be what I should be doing, making people feel good, and that's what made me get into more extensions and dealing with hair loss clients. For the girls or the guys who are planning to go to cosmetology school, do it. It's worth it. It's rewarding. It's not easy. It's time consuming, but in the end, it's worth it. Also, when you're preparing to go to state board, you take extra things, everything in that practical, remember it because it's definitely going to be on the actual state board test. Don't be discouraged. It's not as hard as it look. The people be walking around and they may look scary, but they're not going to say a word to you. Just keep tunnel vision. Keep everything in your kit. Keep packing nice. Pack it in sections. You'll be okay. You can do it. A message that I would like to give to women in this industry is don't quit. Like, never give up. No matter what today look like, tomorrow will always look different. It'll get better. It's not gonna be an overnight success. Just whatever you do, keep going. No matter what it look like. Don't let anything get in your way. If it's something that you love to do, keep doing it. Keep pushing. Never give up. I went to state board. I was 8 months pregnant, and I still didn't even let that stop me. I couldn't sit down in between. It was actual. I think it was 6 hours. It's been a while. It's been 16 years. I stood there the whole time and got it done. So if I can do it, you can do it too.